E.N.D here, day 6 for the spoilers of Dominaria United. Do you like Dominaria United? Leave me in the comments below what is your favorite card. Mine is without any doubt Liliana of the Veil. Let's start. And I want to start with Negate, a reprint of Negate, 1 and 1 blue counter target non-creature spell. For Exim Missionary, 1 and 1 white, it's a 2-3 with kicker 1 and 1 black. Lifelink, enters the battlefield. If it was kicked, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Electrostatic Infantry for 1 and 1 red, it's a 1-2 with trample. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Shieldred Restoration 3 and 1 black, kicker for 2 and 1 white. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If the spell was kicked, you gain life equal to that card's mana value, otherwise you lose that much life. Exile it. Elvish Hydromancer, 2 and 1 green, it's a 3-2, kicker for 3 and 1 blue. Enters the battlefield. If it was kicked, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. Erin Benalia Ruin, for 2 white and 1 black, it's a 3-3 with menace. 1 white and 1 black, tap, sacrifice another creature, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Bird Argivian Recruiter, 1 red and 1 white, it's a 2-2. At the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with power greater than its base power, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. Tatyova Steward of Tides, 2 green and 1 blue, it's a 3-3. Land creatures you control have flying. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands, up to 1 target land you control becomes a 3-3 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land. Balmor Battle Mage Captain, for 1 blue and 1 red, it's a 1-3 with flying. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain trample until end of turn. Vohar Vodalian Desecrator, for 1 blue and 1 black, it's a 1-2. Tap, draw a card, then discard a card. If you discard an instant or sorcery card, this way each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. For 2, sacrifice it. You may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard this turn. If the spell would be put into graveyard, exile it instead. Activate only as a sorcery. Elas Il-Kor Sadistic Pilgrim, for 1 white and 1 black, it's a 2-2 with Death Touch. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Whenever another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. We have the normal version and we have a stunning stained glass showcase version. The rare cards, Danita Benalia's Hope, 4 and 1 white, it's a 4-4 with Fair Strike, Vigilance and Lifelink. Enters the battlefield, you may put an aura or equipment card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield attached to Danita. Valiant Veteran, for 1 and 1 white, it's a 2-2. Other soldiers you control get +1/+1. 3 and 2 white, exile it from your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on each soldier you control. It's a nice soldier lord. Leyline Binding, 5 and 1 white, enchantment, flash, domain. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each basic land type among lands you control. Enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. Vodalian Hexcatcher, for 1 and 1 blue, it's a 1/1 with flash. Other Merfolk you control get +1/+1. Sacrifice it, counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 1. That's another good Merfolk Lord and also can counter spells. Silver Scrutiny X and 2 blue, it's a sorcery. You may cast it as though it had flash if X is 3 or less. Draw X cards. Leaf Crowned Visionary, for 2 green, it's a 1/1. Other elves you control get +1/+1, meaning that's an elf lord. Whenever you cast an elf spell, you may pay 1 green. If you do, draw a card. Rivets of the Claw, 1 black and 1 red, 3-3 with menace. Tap, add 2 mana of any combination of colors. Spend this mana only to cast dragging creature spells. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a dragging creature spell from your graveyard. Whenever you cast a dragging creature spell from your graveyard, it gains. When this creature dies, exile it. It's a nice creature to add any dragon decks out there. Maria Scholar of Antiquity, 1 red and 1 green, it's a 3-3. Tap, an untapped non-token artifact you control, add 1 green. Tap, 2 untap non-token artifact you control, exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. King Darien the 48, 1 green and 1 white, it's a 2-3 human soldier. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. 3 1 green and 1 white, put a +1/+1 counter on King Darien and create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. Sacrifice it, creature's token you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Tran Portal, it's a land, it's a gate. enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands. As it enters the battlefield, choose a basic land type. It is the chosen type in addition to its other types. Mana abilities will cost an additional 1 life to activate, meaning that when it enters the battlefield, if I choose Forest, I can tap for a green mana and it will cost me 1 life. Rit Liberated Primeval 2, 1 red, 1 green and 1 white. It's a 5/5. It's a dragon, flying with ward 2. Other dragons you control have ward 2. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls was dealt excess damage this turn, create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. It's nice to have with trample. Joda the Unifier. 1 white, 1 blue, 1 black, 1 red, 1 green. 5 colors. It's a 5/5. Legendary creatures you control get +X/+X, where X is the number of legendary creatures you control. Whenever you cast a legendary spell from your hand, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a legendary non-land card with lesser mana value. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. Therefore, it has Cascade. Vesuvian Diplomacy, 3 and 1 blue. Enchantment. Whenever you cast a spell that targets only a single artifact or creature controlled, create a token that's a copy of that artifact or creature, except it's not legendary. This is a card, this is an enchantment that I will keep an eye on it, because I believe it can easily spike in value, considering that currently in Standard there's a card called Lear, Disciple of the Drowned. So this was the last card in this particular day 6 of the spoilers of Dominaria United. Join me tomorrow for another day of spoilers, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.